Hi, in this demo video, I'm going to show you how we use email loyalty rewards to recapture aged contacts as well as introduce ourselves to new contacts that come into our database. The whole point of this is, as we all know, the inbox is impossible to capture, and you need to take an approach to be consistently engaging your audience in interesting ways to get them to reply and open your emails. That's the only assurance that you have with sustaining your inbox deliverability. So what we've developed here at MakesBridge is this program called Email Loyalty Rewards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the roadmap or the playbook that we implement for ourselves as well as our clients in order to maximize responses and engagement with the audience, all without having to spend a ton of time and resources on creating original content. It's fairly straightforward. So as you see on your screen, we've got the Email Loyalty Rewards homepage. And we're driving traffic to this website to engage the audience and let them know really what this is all about, which is really just a simple value proposition. If you open your emails and engage your emails, you're going to earn points towards rewards. So with that as our introduction, I'm going to walk right into the playbook. I'm using my inbox to illustrate the sequence that we have. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to take a look at each of the messages that we send out within the sequence, and then we're going to look at what the results are. So in the first one, this is our invitation, and it's the first email that comes from Email Loyalty Rewards for people who have not opened in quite a long time, so we're looking to re-engage them. They may be people we haven't mailed to in years, or again, I mean, these may be like brand new leads that have come in, or brand new contacts, I should say, that come in, and we just want to have this parallel line of communication going out to them. Now, this is really useful in all walks of industry. It could be B2B, B2C, media companies, what have you. And the whole idea here, again, is to just get people introduced to the concept of being rewarded for engaging your email. Fairly straightforward. So in the first one, this is where we're, again, making our introduction. And I'm going to flip over to the report, and you see how this does. So again, these are this is raw data, or people who haven't been engaging with us or haven't seen our brand in a long time. You see that the numbers of opens are not that fantastic, but again, these days, this is kind of what we expect. So we've got about our 2% open rate, and again, not awesome, but you'll see that's going to change. And you see that we've got a pretty decent delivery across all the major ISPs. Gmail, this is typically the case, lags behind a bit. Very strong in Yahoo, very strong in iCloud. And again, this is good for if you've got a database where people are familiar with you but haven't interacted with you, and you're just looking for a way to, again, reignite that relationship, or again, if they're brand new, put your hand out. And now we're looking at the second message in our sequence. Now in this one, what we're doing is we're acknowledging an open. So anyone who opened that initial email, we wait 3 minutes or 2 minutes before we send this email. And again, it's only to the openers. So if people are not opening that initial email, we're just leaving them off to the side. We're not going to be bothering with them for a little while. We're going to hit them in another cycle in about, say, 60 days. Because we're really just wanting to emphasize relationships with our people who are engaging. So again, we're waiting 2 minutes before we send the second message. And you see what we're doing is we're saying you have 10 points. So we've acknowledged the action, and we're also working to build some trust. And you see that we've got a $25 gift reward card on entry, and we're just asking them to reply to the email. So here's what we got so far. We've got someone who's opened, not only once, but also twice if they're seeing this, and then we're going to try to get them to reply. And what we're doing in the eyes of the ISP's heuristics for filtering and machine learning, etc., is we're starting to build credibility with our audience. And let's take a look at the result. So if we wait 2 minutes, you see that we've got a 33% open rate, which is fantastic. And you also see that we're getting really strong penetration across all the ISPs. Now we're looking at the third message in our sequence, and this is an email that goes out 30 minutes after the initial open. So here's why we're doing it, is we want to, again, reinforce some trust and instant gratification to the individual. So we're really trying to immerse them in that idea, that concept of getting rewarded for engaging in emails. The other thing is, if you notice that we're offering, or we're telling them that this is a weekly statement, this is their first weekly statement. So what we're going for there is to set the expectation that they're going to be getting these emails every week. And not only that, but naturally, if there's going to be a statement every week, then we're hoping they're going to make that assumption or that mental leap with understanding that we may be sending them 1 or 2 emails between now and then. So that's the whole concept. Again, within the first 30 minutes or 40 minutes of engagement with each individual, we would have had positive emails, 3 positive emails going out to them. So let's take a look at the results here. Remember, we're going from a basis of 2% on our initial send out, and here you see that it's 27%. So our third message, which goes out 30 minutes later, is getting a 27% open rate. And we're happy about that. You see that the suppressions are there. So that's another sort of positive too, because we know that we're getting into the inbox, or at least we're engaging with them. And if people want to stop, we want them to stop. So again, we just take a look at all the ISPs that we're in. And again, we're seeing all the majors. iCloud, Yahoo, and Gmail are all in here. The email that you see on your screen is a rewards program that we're sending out now to our entire audience. Now, I did mention that we don't bother the people that haven't opened after that initial email, but this is our way to actually make a second effort to see if we can get some lift and give all those people who didn't open a better idea as to what this is supposed to be about. So what we do is on Tuesday, we'll send out an email with what the reward or contest opportunity is. So in this case, all we're doing is just saying, hey, why don't you click and let us know what profile best suits your ideal travel? So is it a warm, sunny beach? Is it somewhere on a ski vacation? Or is it something more metropolitan and urban? So what we've done is we're just asking for a click in order for someone to enter. And this typically does much better than if you're requiring a reply email. So let's take a look at the result. We sent out, in this case, 67,000 in our last wave, and we got about a 2% open rate, which is, again, to be expected. What we've done is we've hit that entire population again, and obviously our openers as well. Now, I want to pop back to the email because you see how we have included the number of points that are in there. The idea being, again, if we've got all those raw people and we're showing that they've got 0 points, by raw I mean people who haven't opened and they're not engaging, that they still have 0 points, and then we can let them know that they can start earning right away. So to sum up where we are so far, we have sent out the introduction email, very first thing. We have sent 2 follow-up emails to all of our openers, and now we've done a 4th message, which is basically a rewards contest, like click to tell us your favorite vacation to drive some greater engagement and, again, context for the audience at large. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to retarget an email to all the people who clicked. So let's take a look at how that one went. This is an entry confirmation. So again, we're going to expect that people are going to be looking for this after they had clicked that initial email. And we're going to have a very low volume of this because we're going to expect that we're going to have low entries. But remember, the name of the game is just slow, methodical engagement and relevant engagement with the audience. It's not necessarily about huge numbers at this point. So here's the email. Something for you, gift cards and prizes for loyalty. Again, we're reinforcing that concept. You see how, as always, we've got our different gift card images that are in there. And we're acknowledging the entrance. So cool, thank you. You're entered to grab a card in this week's contest. And then we let them know that they're going to have a choice as to what kind of card they can receive. Cool. So now if I pop over to the results, again, very small for this initial distribution, but you see that it's a 60% response rate. Now the key thing to know here, again, is that we're going to keep on churning these and churning these and churning these. So over time, these numbers are going to grow. And we're going to be holding on to our audience. Now we're looking at the weekly statement that we're sending out every Saturday. What we do with this one is we're congratulating the person who won that week, and there may be a few depending on how many contests and drawings we ran. And the other important thing we're doing here is we're reinforcing the need to get points, because we're showing that the more points you have, the more or the greater the value the gift card will be if you end up winning the contest for the week. And let's have a look at the results. So here we're only targeting all of our openers. So these are only people who we know at least have more. You have more than 0 points, really. So we've got a 17% open rate. Not too bad. Not too bad. We'd like to see that rise, but again, if this is a weekly email, we may or may not, see a result. But again, in the eyes of the ISPs, if we're getting that decent open rate, people aren't claiming spam, we're building that reputation over time. Now, the final email that I want to show in this presentation are what we refer to as wildcards. And this is if there is something out there in the zeitgeist that we can leverage. It's very newsworthy, buzzworthy. Then we get an email out there. Now, we had a perfect example a few weeks ago when it was announced or discovered that Russian hackers had control of like 500,000 routers of US residents. So that's something we saw that as an opportunity to reach out to our audience and play the role of advocate. So you see here we're saying we care about our members, and in case you haven't heard, this is very upsetting and I need a margarita. So again, we're just trying to create that conversation with the individual, and again, in this case, we're using something highly buzzworthy to make the connection with that individual. So let's take a look at how this one did, and you're going to see that we did actually a little bit better because we have now achieved a 3% open rate. So we've clicked up just a little bit out there, and again, we see all of the fairly decent penetration across all the major ISPs. So again, that's a wild card, and that can go out whenever there's something like really compelling that we think that the audience would be interested in. And again, we'll assume at this point they've heard from us at least a couple times, particularly for those non-openers. And this could, stand to be like the final overture that we make to them. So how does this all roll up? And what I want to do here is I want to show you just like a dashboard that we follow to see how well our progress is going. So we have basically our net new openers that we're tracking every single day. And then the other thing is we see the introduction wave, what the performance there is. So we saw about 2% right here. Right now we're staying at about 1.73%. Again, not very exciting, but this is just a process because all these people who we're hitting in this wave, they're not opening at all. So we don't even have the benefit of 1.79%. Then the other dashboard we have is that that initial introduction email. So that was the one where, if they open that and we let them know that they got 10 points, that's the one that got sent out 2 minutes after. Again, you see that, I'm going to do a roll up, but this is the 33% one. And then the point statement, which was like the first of the weekly, that's where this goes. So I had gone on to explain all the different emails that we were sending out in this sort of this warming, if you will. And it's the dashboard here that really will let you know where everything is, how everything is playing out and how you can track your progress. So that's our summary of email loyalty rewards and how we're leveraging it to re-engage people who are long since dead, basically non-openers, inactive, And then also the overture we can make, the warm overture we can make out to raw data that is new, and try to set the relationship off on this sort of engagement transaction with them. So hopefully you found this to be of extreme helpful use to you, and reach out to us, support at makesbridge.com. If you have a client services manager, best buddy at Makesbridge, get in touch with them, and you can also get in touch with me as well. I'd love to hear from you. My email address is the letter J, Adams, like the president, at makesbridge.com. Thanks a lot for watching, and really hope we can help you out. Bye-bye.